We've all been there. You walk away from an argument feeling defeated, and hours later, the perfect comeback finally hits you. You can eliminate that regret. Politicians and celebrities rely on a specific 6-step psychological framework to maintain control during verbal confrontations. Consider the baseline for a calculated reply. When comedian Barti Singh targeted Katrina Kaif's Punjabi speaking skills, Katrina Kaif fired back by comparing her bad Punjabi directly to Barti's bad dancing. Executing a reply like that requires strict emotional control. It functions as a tactical tool to dismantle an attacker without needing to raise your voice. Trapping an opponent in the consequences of their own toxic behavior changes the social hierarchy of the room. You end the argument by making their hostility look foolish. Step 1 is the reverse attack. When someone targets you, do not mount a defense. Instead, take their exact words and bounce them right back.
We see this mechanic in action during a press conference with Shah Rukh Khan. A reporter misidentified him as Salman. He didn't correct her. He simply mirrored the error by calling her Deepika. By mimicking her lack of preparation with total composure, he made the reporter's mistake look amateurish. Step 2 is indifference. An attacker's primary objective is to harvest a reaction from you. Denying them that reaction completely neutralizes their weapon. Look at the approach of Gopal Das. When faced with a potential insult from a crowd, maintaining absolute composure, or even just smiling, projects total confidence. Reversal and indifference demonstrate that an attacker's frame doesn't dictate your behavior. When you refuse to be flustered by a mistake, you remain the most composed person in the room. Step 3 is the accept and counter technique. This relies on the counterintuitive logic of agreeing with the insult. You simply say, "Yes, I am this," to instantly disarm the attacker. Taking ownership of their negative premise removes all of their conversational ammunition. They expect pushback, and the lack of resistance leaves them confused. Narendra Modi executed this when responding to a political threat. An opponent threatened him with sticks. Modi accepted the timeline, but framed those 6 months as an opportunity to do more Surya Namaskar exercises, building a back strong enough to break the sticks themselves. By embracing the attack and twisting the narrative, you convert their insult into a demonstration of resilience. This flowchart visualizes a biological loop. Every insult relies on the attacker receiving a dopamine hit from your reaction. Formula 1 is the stare. Holding silent eye contact severs this loop, creating an awkward silence for the attacker. Formula 2 is do your work. Ignore the comment entirely and return to whatever task you were doing. This action signals that their presence has no impact on your focus. Formula 3 is the wrong right question sequence, perfect for strangers. First, mispronounce their name, then correct it. Finally, dismissively ask them to repeat the insult. Formula 4 is agree and ask, designed for friends. Feign total agreement with their insult, but then patronizingly ask if they are feeling mentally all right. These 4 formulas systematically short-circuit your opponent's momentum. You leave them frustrated, fighting their own awkwardness. Step 5 is the straw man fallacy. This is a strategic weapon used when you cannot easily defeat the opponent's core point directly. The mechanics require you to deliberately distort their argument. You rebuild it into an oversimplified, weak version of what they actually meant. To execute this distortion, use a strict verbal trigger. Always start your sentence with, "So you are saying that." Once you state the newly distorted argument, identify its absolute weakest node. Then, concentrate all your verbal attacks exclusively on that point. The straw man technique ensures you never fight the battle on the opponent's terms. It forces them onto a weakened battlefield of your own design. Step 6 is locking in delivery. Even the most perfectly constructed verbal reply will fail if your vocal tone is shaky. You must use the confidence protocol body language checklist. Slightly lean back, lock eye contact, and speak slowly with an expression of pure boredom. The ultimate tactic here is the 1-second pause. Deploying a strict pause before answering projects situational control. The body's silent language is what actually lands the blow. The savage words themselves are merely the finishing touch. You now have a complete arsenal at your disposal. You know how to reverse words, deploy psychological disruption, and use strategic logical fallacies. The objective is to ensure that the next time that person considers an insult, they remember the immediate tactical failure of their last attempt. When executed correctly, you reach a state where you can absorb any incoming insult. smirk confidently, and internally evaluate their attempt as pathetic. This level of dominance is projected by an invisible aura, one established before a single word is ever spoken. To master the walking style and posture that signal your situational control, click the video on your screen right now. It will finalize your training, and I will see you there.